We've all heard said the importance of people connecting to people. I mean,
yes.
that attachment thing is so important. It starts with that mother and child bond, you know, where the kid's saying, "Mommy, care for me," right?
That's my favorite attachment, is holding that little newborn. And I think it's fascinating that from the time a baby is born, their focal point is literally the distance between a mother's breast and her eyes, so that we bond together.
Yeah. But that connection is so important. It's interesting, they've done studies of orphanages overseas, and they found that children, though they might be fed and changed, if they're not held and cared for, what happens? Actually die from lack of contact.
Okay, and if that doesn't tell you the power of touch, I mean, it gives such an incredible sense of security.
Yeah, and you know that security is so important. It reminds me of, remember the cartoon character Charlie Brown and all the Linus? You know, Linus with his blanket. Remember, he's got a little security blanket. He's always dragging it around with him.
Okay, and have you ever seen little ones when their security blanket is taken from them?
They freak, don't they?
Oh, you talk about a tantrum and a fit. In fact, I know a mother who bought 2 of the same blankets. No, her little one could not be without it while she was doing laundry.
Oh,
that's how ridiculous it is.
That's sad.
Did you have a security blanket?
I didn't have a security blanket.
Oh, okay.
I had a teddy bear.
Oh, okay. Security blanket, teddy bear.
But you know, it made me feel safe, secure, comfortable. It was familiar. I liked Teddy.
And I think we trade our teddy bears for other things the older we get.
Like what for you?
Well, I'll tell you what's sad. The only thing I can think of that I threw a major fit over was I lost my day timer for a couple days in college.
Her schedule, got to keep schedule.
Okay, now, is that pathetic? I was attached to a calendar. Like, that is sad.
Okay, but try this. You talk about safe, familiar, comfortable. I think BlackBerry. I got to have it there, right? Because it's connecting me to people, right? But you know what's sad in our society? I call it a James Bond society.
What do you mean by that?
Okay, we're talking about connection and attachment here, but James Bond society is all about shallow, surface, you know, short-lived and sexual connections, but not real deep connections.
That reminds me of the internet. And oh my goodness, have you heard the latest? There is a real-life human, husband and wife. She is now divorcing him because they entered the virtual world called Second Life, and her avatar and his avatar, that's their little cartoon characters.
Okay, yeah.
His avatar had an affair with another avatar.
In the make-believe.
In make-believe. And she feels like she's been betrayed in real life. Yeah. So the human wife is divorcing her husband.
You know what's happening in Japan? Right now, they're lobbying to get it passed. You can actually be married to a 2-dimensional comic character.
I can marry Mickey Mouse.
You could.
Oh my goodness, what are we coming to? Yeah. But I'll tell you what, I think it proves the fact that all of us are still looking for a teddy bear or a security blanket. We want someone that we can bond with.
It's all about holding me tight, the emotional dimension of love. Stay with us. Okay. We all know that people were created for attachment, right?
I believe it.
And as people really get connected, and we say, man, they're always together. They're just like Siamese twins.
They are joined at the hip.
But you know, it's more than physical proximity that matters. It's not just that kind of closeness. That has to be, you know what? Not just bound at the hip, but it's bound at the heart as well. It's emotional closeness.
Well, I tell you what.
Whoa.
What?
Come back, guys. Come on back. I said emotional closeness. Every guy in the whole nation's running. Okay, come on back. It's not going to scare you. Stay with us.
We've got a woman who's done her homework. I'm telling you, she is a clinical psychologist. She is the creator of emotionally focused therapy. She's author of a fabulous book, Hold Me Tight. Dr. Sue Johnson, let's welcome her.
Sue. Awesome.
Sue, when I read the title, Hold Me Tight, and I'm thinking, I agree completely that we all want attachment. But I'm thinking, everybody likes to be hugged different. You know what I mean? There are people who just want this, and then there are people who are all over this. And are we the same way emotionally?
Well, I think we have differences, but I think what I'm trying to say in Hold Me Tight is there's a certain place where we're all the same. We all have the same basic need to know that somebody's there for us and that someone will come when we call and that we really matter to that person. So, you know, whether you want to be held real close or whether you feel a little bit more distance is something you can work out with your partner. But it's kind of like, if I'm going to depend on you, I need to know that I matter to you and that you're going to respond to me on a certain emotional level.
Okay, I heard I matter to you.
Yeah.
Every time you said it, it's like that was loud and bold.
Yeah, and when we read the book, I mean, I loved it, and you kept coming back. Yeah. but are you there for me?
Yeah.
Kept coming back. Are you there for me? So that's the heart of what a person's asking, that deep need, right?
That's right. And lots of times if you watch couples fight, if you say to them, what are you fighting about? They'll say, oh, if we're fighting about money or we're fighting about the kids.
Yes.
But if you really listen to them, they're not fighting about that. Somebody's trying to say, listen, I'm all alone here, I'm disconnected, I'm not even sure I matter to you, where are you? Come and connect with me. And the couple are missing each other. That's what's happening.
Now listen, I encourage the guys to come back, because we said emotional closeness. Now where does this work for a guy? Okay, I mean, seriously, like, touchy-feely closeness. Like, don't guys get kind of freaked by that?
That means yes?
I mean, this show is not about physical closeness.
Dave,
all the guys would be watching then, right? This is emotional closeness.
Dave, yeah, but Dave, we do this with the firemen of New York, and we do this with vets, and I've just come back from Kansas. We do this with people from deployment. The bottom line is, I hate to tell you this, but there's a certain level in which guys are just the same, okay?
Really?
They just have the same needs.
We have a big heart.
Yes, yes.
We have a big heart, guys.
They have the same needs, but I think we've really taught guys to express it differently.
Yes.
And actually, I think we've taught men and women to distrust those basic needs for emotional connection. We've taught them.
How have we taught them to distrust it?
Somewhere along the line, about 20 years ago, I don't know how it happened, we just decided that it was sort of immature, and that what you're supposed to do as an adult is kind of be this sort of rock.
Stoic.
And
self-sufficient.
Got it. And you're supposed to deal with stuff all by yourself. And, you know, what we know from the last 15 years of research on adult attachment is that that's not strength. That the strongest thing of all is to be able to, because we're all vulnerable, you know, the world's bigger than all of us, and the strongest thing of all is to be able to turn and reach for somebody when you need that person and stand together, right?
No, we got people going to the most shallow ways to get connected, though. Like they go to the internet and they're chatting around, and what's going on there?
Okay,
I mean, they have that need.
I know, but I might think, and I am connecting with people on the internet. I mean, am I fooling myself?
Well, it's pretty safe, you know. You're not really taking any risks if you're sitting typing at a, right? And the person can't even see you, you know. I mean, so it's a kind of safe way to connect. But I think it's a tricky one. I think people have this desperate need for connection. There's more and more isolation in our society.
Yes,
there's more and more
lonelier,
loneliness.
lonelier than we've ever been.
And people don't understand love. They don't know how to do it. So they say, well, I don't know how to find someone to talk to, and I don't know how to connect with somebody, and I don't even have a map for this thing called love. It's this big, scary thing. So I'll go chat with somebody on the internet.
Well, and I know, I swear we're going to pay the price of this, because I'm teaching my kids. They don't ever have I don't know about your kids, but it's always texting. It's always on the internet. They don't even call each other anymore. They're in the same car texting.
And you know the trick.
And they call that communication. Now you tell me that we're not going to get a whiplash of that down the road.
We're going to go through the roller coaster ups and downs of life, but hang on to this, because we're going back to the next segment. Realize this, though, in the roller coaster up and downs, when you take your kid on the first ride in the roller coaster, you say, hang on for dear life, this is going to be great, right? But you know, in the emotional roller coasters, the one that's your relationship person that you're trying to love, if you hang on for dear life, it'll really make a difference. Stay with us.